and welcome to Commodity Champions. I'm Manisha Gupta, and today our focus is on one such currency which is very quietly taking the world by a storm. Yes, it is the cryptocurrencies. Let's talk about the price movement in the most widely traded cryptocurrency, which is the Bitcoin. From 4.9 US dollars in March 2012 to $2,234 in July 7th is how we are trading. Remember, the prices have gone all the way to 2,900 as well, and it is a jump up of nearly 200% that we've seen come in for the currency. The global market value also saw a sharp escalation from $25 billion in April this year to a whopping $100 billion in the month of June itself. Clearly, the growth and global acceptance of cryptocurrency has been phenomenal. There are more than 800 Bitcoin ATMs in the United States, followed by Canada, which has about 179 Bitcoin ATMs. So where does India stand when it comes to cryptocurrency? There are, of course, regulatory concerns, but the major one is terror funding. The Supreme Court today asked the Centre and Reserve Bank to ensure that the virtual currency is not used for terror activities. The Apex Court has given a week's time, or rather 4 weeks' time, to government and the RBI to examine all security issues. The security concerns aside, the data suggests that India's trade in cryptocurrencies is about 50 crores per day, but that's minuscule versus to 20 to 30,000 by global exchanges together done on every single day. But is India ready to accept cryptocurrencies? Are Indians aware of Bitcoins? Is it a safe investment option? We'll discuss all that in the next half hour. Let me welcome our guest on the show today. Joining us is Advocate N.S. Napinai. Also joining us is Vishal Gupta of SearchTrade.com, Saurabh Agarwal of ZepPay, and Satvik Vishwanath of Unicorn as well. Gentlemen, hi. Thank you so much for joining us today. Mr. Napinai, let me start with you first. And it really is about, a lot of concern that the Indian markets has as of now. We, of course, have the committee that has been put up by the ministry, which is expected to come out with a report by July end. But with the Supreme Court now saying that it's giving the committee and the RBI 4 weeks to come out with security concerns, what is your sense? Is India gearing up, and that is the reason we are looking at all the angles?
I would put it this way, that India has to gear up. Because the world has gone ahead. There has been a lot of traction in terms of acceptance of cryptocurrencies, particularly with respect to Bitcoin. A lot of that, as you rightly put it, has been the reason why the volatility has happened with respect to the valuation. So today we are at a situation where RBI issued a circular in 2013 as a cautionary note. It reiterated it many years later in 2017 February. And thereafter, the interdepartmental committee hearings have taken place and the report is awaited. But there is still no certainty in terms of how India is going to go. It's still cat on the wall in that regard.
Sure is, yes. There's much.
But a decision has to be taken one way or the other, because there are a lot of Indians who have already invested in this cryptocurrency. People have exposed themselves. So it's not fair to the public at large that there would not be specificity with respect to how the law is going or intends to go.
I think more than it not being allowed, what the government is talking about right now is on how it should be allowed. Because as we understand, there are various norms, etc., being talked about it. And we also understand that several prominent banks have started research and development in this sense as well. So Satvik, coming to you really, I mean, the kind of number, the volume that we see in India is minuscule as you compare to the other countries like Singapore, Japan, US, Canada for that matter. Why is India lagging so behind?
I think India started quite late as compared to other countries. So when we started Unocoin in 2013, so we were actually the first one to market in the way where we provide a trading platform and the wallet service. But if you see other countries, see for example US, it had the trading platform since 2011 itself. So on the other side, Indians are quite risk averse, and they need much more validation, it seems, from the global markets before they flock on. So yeah, so right now it's definitely not even close to the countries like Japan, China, and US.
The whole concern, while of course on one side it is about the anonymity of using cryptocurrencies, but on the other side it's a boon and it's a bane as well. How should an investor be looking at it, Satvik? Because on one side it is being related to or looked at in sense of gold as well. But while gold has a total acceptability world around, would you say cryptocurrencies are really far away from that?
Yeah, so cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, derive a lot of properties of the physical gold. So again, when it comes to an investment, so people should understand that it is quite risky in nature. I mean, in 2013, we have seen the price dropping by 80% overnight, but compared to that, in recent years, we have seen the volatility to be much more stable. But on the other side, we have also seen the cost of Bitcoin increase year by year. So, but again, this cannot be the indication for how it could be in the future. But right now, I mean, we keep hearing from U.S. Investment bankers and advisors that they can go for up to 1% of their personal wealth in Bitcoin. So, but anyway, as a part of UnoCoin, we do not give any kind of investment advisors. But it is volatile in nature, and people should understand it is risky investment.
Well, absolutely. As you pointed out, the volatility has been really high. Ms. Nipana, just coming to you on to that one. You always talk about on how the prices of a Bitcoin or an Ethereum for that matter have seen $400. Ethereum for that matter saw $400 per unit in the month of June itself, and we are trading around $200 right now. We started this year with $8 for that matter. When we talk about commodities and other currencies, there is always this talk about a fair value, a relevant value. Would you say that when it comes to cryptocurrencies, volatility perhaps is something that we'll have to live with? Mr. Nipana, hi, this question is to you.
Sorry, was that question to me?
I was asking on how the volatility has been in case of the cryptocurrencies, from especially in case of Ethereum, if you talk $8 to $400 to $200 as we stand right now. Would you say that there is even a conversation or a debate on a fair value of these currencies?
I'm sorry, is that question addressed to me?
It is, yes.
Yeah, sorry, the connection was not too clear. My apologies on that. I would put it in a slightly different way. One, I think just a step back on this. We are talking cryptocurrencies, and that's not just Ethereum or Bitcoin. There are a lot of other players in this market. But one characteristic which seems to be running through each of these cryptocurrencies is the volatility factor. In some instances, the market forces are playing a role in terms of deciding the volatility. In certain others, a bit of concern is that the owners of the cryptocurrency or the creators of them also seem to have a role to play in terms of the volatility. When we talk about the market playing a role, it's very difficult to decide whether that's fair value or not, because it's the demand and supply ratio that seems to be driving it. So unlike gold, because you asked that question earlier, but unlike gold, I do not see a standard or a threshold on which you can really place this valuation. Depending on the acceptance in a particular country, rates have increased. For instance, when China allowed dealings in Bitcoin, the value increased. Japan is today allowing it, and it's also being used as a means of currency for purchasing commodities, and then that further increases its value. So with each level of acceptance, the value is increasing. Whether that's just because of the demand and supply ratio, it's not too clear. So I would not really be able to qualify it as fair value in that sense.
Well, yes. Satvik, this one is to you. As of now, the Bitcoin's code limits the numbers of coins that can exist to 21 million. We understand 16 million is already in circulation. With that kind of a capital or a capex on that, What is your sense on where are we headed from here? Because, you know, there has been a report out from Goldman Sachs, etc., where they feel that the prices can move beyond 3,500 when it comes to Bitcoins. Are we only looking at bullishness when it comes to this currency from here on?
I think overall, if we see, there has been some dips, but whenever there is a dip, again the price goes up, and again there is a dip, but that dip will not be equivalent to what it used to be before. So it usually takes a new level altogether. So if it continues, I wouldn't really be surprised at all that it will reach 3,500 or even it could be 10,000. I wouldn't really be surprised. But again, this depends upon a lot of other competitors to Bitcoin that is coming up. So especially Ethereum, and we keep hearing that the market cap of Ethereum could go past Bitcoin very soon. Yeah, I mean, if that kind of situation exists, it could be possible that the Bitcoin price will, the rate at which the Bitcoin price is increasing could slow down. But on the other side, the backers for Bitcoin are much more than any other cryptocurrencies. It has been in existence since 9 years. If you see Ethereum, it has quite a bit of issues. We saw one major failure last year, so where the price of Ethereum again crashed to like about 20% of what it used to be in a single day. So given this situation, yeah, I mean, with the price at which it will get capped, we have no clue. We just know that what it is capable of, and we will have to see how much of the use cases and utilities come out of it, which will eventually determine the price.
That point is well taken. Well, Saurabh Agarwal of ZepPay as well now joins us with his sense on the market here. Saurabh, hi, good to have you. What is your sense? You know, we've been discussing the pricing, the valuation, the concerns, etc. I also want to talk to you about the volumes. India trades 50 crores worth of cryptocurrencies in a day. China does 5,000. Globally, the number really is put at anywhere between 20,000 to 30,000 crores on the higher side. India, of course, has started late, but do you see India catching up? Because that is what the markets do feel, that India once gets into it, once we have our legality sorted, we perhaps could be really big into this.
Hi, you are absolutely right. Once the legal status is clear in India, we will see a lot of surge in Bitcoin users, because there are a lot of users who are sitting on the edge. They are just waiting for some clarifications from the government, and when that comes in, they will always be wanting to get into it. There are new generation entrepreneurs, there are investors, there are millennials who all want to get into Bitcoins, who all want to trade into cryptocurrencies, but they just are waiting for some kind of clarity from government.
Saurabh, coming on the startups as well, there are a lot of new companies which have cropped up in last 1 year. We understand that the number latest put was at something like 32 in the last 1 year in sense of, you know, cryptocurrency companies there. With that many companies coming in, which of course is quite small as you compare them to the global markets, what is your sense? Even as we are looking at more and more people talking about blockchain technology, the funding is yet another question mark.
So, I mean, of course, a lot of new startups will keep coming up in the blockchain and the Bitcoin space. Along with blockchain, they will come up with altcoins, coming out with their own ICOs. We will see new applications, which will be maybe a public-private partnerships, like government tying up with some startups, or maybe with some serious entrepreneurs, like even Infosys tying up with government and trying to come out with new products on blockchain. Of course, investors are cautious, but that doesn't mean that investors always take risks. So if you talk of VCs, they are interested to invest into Bitcoin companies who have seen some track record, who have grown. And with the new generation of startups coming in, we will see more and more investments coming in the startups as well. I don't see any problem by VCs investing in this sector. They know that sometime sooner or later, Indian government will also be looking at regulations.
Well, absolutely. You can't be isolated with more and more countries, especially joining it, starting right from US, Canada, Finland, Austria, you name it, and there are nearly some 50 countries which already seem to be working towards it. But gentlemen, and please stay on with us. Time now for a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We will continue our discussion on cryptocurrencies and the future on the other side.